So crypto has crashed, and who's been left holding the bag? You guessed it, not the rich. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. So some time ago, I made a video raising my concerns about crypto, and it was based upon the fact that I'd seen an ad in a movie theater with Matt Damon trying to get people to buy crypto. Well, isn't it funny, now that crypto has crashed, that you don't hear anything more from Matt Damon or any of the other celebrities who are all for buying crypto? Now, it gives me no pleasure in being right about this. I would love the idea of people being able to kind of engage in financial transactions themselves without having to involve any kind of government institutions. I just think that it's unrealistic and the math just doesn't work out. I'm pretty sure, though, that before Matt Damon made that ad, he didn't do his research to understand exactly what crypto was and what the risks were. The risks, unfortunately, are pretty clear. Crypto enjoys no backing from any major government, El Salvador set aside. Interestingly enough, New York City and Miami also started their own cryptocurrencies. Those cryptocurrencies have also crashed. But the bottom line is that when people say the US dollar is not backed by anything, the US dollar is backed by the American economy. It's backed by the fact that you can pay your taxes with dollars. And then based upon the fact that you can pay taxes with dollars, you can pay for just about everything else with dollars. That is not the case with crypto. If you want to buy some pornography or a gun on the dark web, or maybe some drugs, well, crypto will serve you well there. But if you want to buy just about anything else, you'll really struggle. So the reason then that the dollar has value is because of the fact that you can buy everything with it. And the reason that you can buy everything with it is people can pay their taxes with dollars. That's not possible with crypto. Now, just as an aside here, El Salvador, that adopted crypto as a alternative legal tender within their borders, is now facing severe economic problems as a result of that. I mean, for all the talk about how the US dollar is backed by nothing, guess what? The US economy is something. Crypto doesn't have any kind of backing like that. Now, what particularly outrages me about this crisis in crypto, though, and it's only driven home by the fact that you had Matt Damon and others making ads trying to sell it to unsuspecting and uneducated customers, people who dreamed of being able to see their wealth explode as crypto just kept going up forever. But guess what? Nothing goes up forever. But unfortunately, I think a lot of retail investors, simply seeing the Matt Damon ads and hearing about crypto going up and up, decide, hey, I should buy some crypto and become rich too. The problem is, what we have going on with crypto is essentially another example of what's known as pump and dump. This is an old strategy. It's been around forever. It led to the Depression, for one thing. It led to the Great Recession in 2008. And each time it happens, there's this effort by governments to basically step in and stop this kind of pump and dump game from happening. So what is pump and dump? Well, early investors get into some kind of investment and they go and tell the entire world about how awesome it is and how it's going to make everybody rich. As a result of their sales efforts, the price goes up. Now, as the price goes up, these early investors, realizing that the value of this investment is based on nothing more than the story, the narrative that they've created, decide that they're going to sell and get out of it. Well, despite the fact that they sell and get out of it for a little while longer, it continues to go up, but eventually it comes crashing down. And guess what? The early investors made a killing. The retail investors who bought into the dream that was being sold to them end up losing money. I mean, it's basically a pyramid scheme like what Bernie Madoff did, except just a little more sophisticated. Because at least in the case of the pump and dump, the early investors have a way to get out without being caught up in the whole chaos that comes later. Don't believe that that's what happened with crypto? Well, check out the case of Luna and Terra USD, two forms of crypto that were sold as being essentially volatility proof. Because Terra USD, at least, was tied to the value of the US dollar, theoretically, right? What could go wrong? I mean, they have these great algorithms that were protecting the currencies from dropping in value, right? That's what Do Kwon, who's the inventor of those cryptocurrencies, was telling everybody. Well, Pantera Capital is a company that invested early on in Luna. They invested about $1.7 million in that cryptocurrency and ended up shortly thereafter selling it for, get this, $170 million. 100 times increase in value. Not bad, right? Well, the problem is they made all this money, but it's made off the backs of everybody who came after them. And everybody who came after them then end up losing their shirts. I love the comment from Paul Veredicadit, an investor at Pantera Capital, who said, the recent crash was unfortunate. A lot of retail investors have lost money. I'm sure a lot of institutional investors have too, he said. But we know about those institutional investors because, of course, Pantera Capital was one of them. And did they lose money? Oh no, they made 100 times their investment. Now, despite the impression that money comes out of nowhere, it doesn't. It comes from somewhere. And in this case, it came from the people who invested later on in the cryptocurrency and was taken by the people who invested early on. It's like the warning that Warren Buffett gives, that if everybody's jumping on board something, that's what you should stay away from. So why am I making such a big deal out of crypto on this channel that's oriented at political commentary? I mean, granted, I am outraged about the fact that average folks ended up losing their shirts because they believed the inflated claims of these people who were making money left and right. But more than that, the Republican Party has married itself to crypto. You have the Trump family, who's actually out there trying to sell NFTs, basically a form of crypto artwork. And then you have Josh Mandel, who is a candidate for U.S. Senate in Ohio, tweeting out that Ohio must be pro-God, pro-family, pro-Bitcoin state. I promise we will be. Now, I have to say, I didn't know that God was in favor of Bitcoin. But according to Josh Mandel and a bunch of other Republicans, including J.D. Vance as well, he is. But that seems to me a bit of a misreading of what's in the Bible. I mean, as I recall, Jesus was pretty critical of the super rich, once saying that it was easier for a camel to get through the eye of the needle than a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven. Now, in some respects, I think that's a bit of an overstatement. But when you see this kind of behavior that's in essence the super rich stealing from everybody else, it does make you wonder where these people are headed. Well, if you doubted me that I predicted this drop in crypto, why don't you check out this other video over here? This is the original video that I did on crypto in response to Matt Damon's movie theater ad. Again, I used to like Matt Damon, but I'm really disturbed about the fact that he'd be hawking something like this that takes advantage of the hopes and dreams of average folks. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.